All right, to all the markets now, let's get a check on what's playing out in the crypto space, and it's mostly green on the screen at this point with Bitcoin there, trying to make that move back to the all-time high. That's the latest one, about $110,000, $111,000. But we're seeing 1.99% jump there. Pockets of red with Picoin, and that's in the red, and a couple of most of the stable coins that we track also in the red. Ben, if we look at the headlines in the market now, the top headline there, we're seeing the EFCC, that's the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede has revealed that the agency has recovered some money from the digital investment platform, Crypto Bridge Exchange, that's CBEX. And there, he made that announcement over the weekend. So, some funds recovered at this point. We know that was a big, major headline there with a couple of people, investors losing money there. Then the developer behind decentralized exchange Bankers claimed IP rights over the core technology underpinning the entire DeFi industry in a new suit aimed at fellow decentralized Uniswap. The lawsuit, which I think that's someone in New York there, claims to own 2 patents that the plaintiffs say were the first smart contract designs, which could allow any buyer or seller to transact in a liquid, reliable manner in a decentralized environment. Then we see Pakistan, they've allocated 2,000 megawatts of electricity in the first phase of a national push to support Bitcoin mining and AI data centers as the country moves to legalize cryptocurrency and attract foreign investment. So definitely a lot to look at there in the markets. But joining me right now to discuss the major issues, we have Tunde Lasukomi, is a country manager at Red Swan, joining me right here in the studio. It's great to have you.
Here, Ladi. It's good
right,
to be here.
I think we're almost matching with ties. There's a few differences there, but it's great to have you, today. And definitely, we did get that headline there with the EFCC boss saying that they've recovered some funds.
Yes.
Yeah, we know CBEX was trending for the longest time recently. So is it getting easier or harder to recover stolen funds? That's in the crypto market and industry?
Yeah, well, the beauty of blockchain and the crypto market industry is traceability. The blockchain itself is an open ledger technology where every transaction are recorded, be it now or in the future. You have access to transaction that has been done or carried out decades ago. Once you have the hash graph number, so blockchain transactions are easily traceable, and the blockchain brings in transparency such that you can trace it from the point of movement to where that asset ended. So I believe that will add to the recovery. Then there's been a lot of effort when it comes to compliance and blockchain investigations and the likes, which is aiding law enforcement agencies and private industry players that act as consultants to such agencies.
So that notion that once you commit some kind of crime or fraud in the crypto space, that most of the time is not traceable.
No, that's not correct.
That narrative
is not correct.
Is gone. So, what would you say is the way to, that's from the regulatory perspective, right now, to make sure this doesn't even happen? Frauds like this.
Yeah. Well, the Nigerian government has actually taken a very huge initiative through the currently enacted ISA bill, that's the Investment and Security Act. So, and that's for the first time in the history of this country, digital asset is now being captured as a form of investment instrument, though there are still some gray area in terms of painting all these digital assets to be the same thing. But that first step is that it will help them to be able to weed out unqualified organizations that are bent at defrauding Nigerians. Then they can license those that are legitimate organizations to operate legally within the system. So with the advent of the Investment and Security Act, I believe that will play a long role in also giving institutional organization confidence to come into the digital asset landscape.
Right. All right. Let's pivot now to tokenization. We know there's a lot, happening, in that space right now, and we're trying to bring that technology, into Nigeria. Tokenizing almost everything. I guess you tokenize real estate. I guess you can tokenize people at this point, so or investment. But what improvement have you seen, so far in the space in Nigeria?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. Before now, in the past 1 decade, the buzz and the noise has been around cryptocurrency. And that's because it's like the first test use case of blockchain. Then additionally, that noise is being fizzled out now because we are moving from just hype, trends, because most cryptocurrencies are not backed by real-world assets. And the world is transiting from the crypto noise to borrowing the principles of blockchain that will make the capital market, the conventional capital market, more efficient. As we explained earlier, that blockchain brings transparency. Blockchain brings liquidity, it brings efficiency and also cost reduction. So now, back to real-world asset tokenization. So now, what we are seeing is that our youth have been playing on the crypto space for over a decade. A lot of them have been swindled. A lot of them have won, have made huge investment or huge gain. But now we need to start moving traditional assets to the blockchain. This will, number one, the traditional capital market will benefit from that a lot. And apart from that, now that we know that that's the future, that's the direction in which the world, the global economy is going to, everything is going to be digital. So the earlier we start as a country, the better for us. Though I believe with the ISA bill capturing that, a lot of traditional players are coming in. And recently, we met at the AMEDA conference, that's the Africa and Middle East Asset Depository Association. So, and one thing that conference summarized to is that every country now to go back to the drawing board and incorporate digital assets into their landscape. So in such a way that the traditional players still remain, while they also start building the digital aspect of it. So
right. So, definitely we're seeing, progress, in the global stage, and, some countries are, taking a cue from what we're seeing in other parts. So, do you think tokenization will play a role in, government activities at some point?
Well, definitely. Tokenization is wide. Beyond the capital markets, there are a lot of things that blockchain would also do when it comes to data management, data identity, electronic voting. Because the record on blockchain cannot be altered. Once the transaction is done, it's there like for life.
So if I vote for candidate A, it's candidate A that will show them.
Exactly, it
on
can
the
be altered.
Okay.
It can be altered. Then, in addition to what I've said earlier, that tokenization brings a lot of benefits. Just the same way the mobile technology was able to make the fintech and the new banking industry to be able to play better and higher in terms of financial inclusion. So, and that was being able to done with the aid of internet and the mobile technology. So tokenization is bringing that same concept, that same efficiency to that same productivity to the capital market space, such that all of the traditional bottleneck in terms of long settlement period, blockchain or tokenization brings real-time settlement. Blockchain brings be able to attract FDI. Then recently, the CBN announced that they are introducing the NRBVN. That's BVN for non-resident Nigerians in diaspora. So all of that is to aid financial inclusion and also to make it easy for Nigerians abroad and even foreigners to be able to invest into the economy back home. The current administration is targeting a $1 trillion economy. And without incorporating digital assets, I think they will still have a long way to go. So for me, for the country, reward asset tokenization, there's a lot of education that still needs to be done.
Yeah, and talking about education, at this point, how hard or easy do you think it would be for the average Nigerian to be able to adopt tokenization?
Funnily, it's not even the average Nigerian alone. It's on two parts. That's the institutional player than the retail players. I was privileged to be at an event recently early in the year whereby most of the asset and pension managers were there to and invited a close colleague of mine to introduce them to blockchain, more like a corporate gathering for blockchain lecture. And you know, after I gave the lecture, one of the top lady there raised her hand that, wow, she was surprised and very amazed by that lecture, because that before that time, when she hears blockchain or crypto, she just thinks like it's an Harvard Yahoo. That was her statement.
Wow.
So, you know, so there's the Harvard Yahoo.
Yahoo. Wow.
That was a clear statement. So, which means that there's a lot of education to even be done to the conventional player apart from the market. Because I was also privileged to be at one of the Taiwan Bank's AGM, annual general meeting last week. And you would almost think you are in a retirement gathering, because most of the shareholders there were people in the retirement age. So, and what this points to is that the younger generation, the Gen Z, the millennials, the future of the country, are not really involved and participating in our traditional capital market. We are saying with tokenization, you can bring, we are not saying you should stop doing what you are doing. It's the same product. We are only digitizing it and bringing it to another platform, which the current younger generation can relate with, be it company stock, be it real estate bonds, be it even treasury bills. Some countries
because the youth
are now,
want to invest. They're actually keen,
exactly.
you know, on investing, you know, going by what we've seen, you know, in the crypto industry so far. I'm sure they would like to replicate such gains, you know, in the traditional market.
That's very correct.
So is this a silver bullet to bring the youth into these markets?
Well, it is because they are already used to blockchain. They're already used to using all of this HAP and DeFi and all of those technologies. And another thing is that if we are not bringing real-world assets that are tangible, that you can seal and forge, and touch on the blockchain, companies and fraudsters like the one we mentioned earlier will easily dissuade. So we have to create an alternative for the youth. We have to create an alternative by bringing assets, company stocks, equities, treasury bills, bond, tokenized real estate on the blockchain, because that's the platform they are used to.
And do you think, okay, I guess blockchain could help with settlements?
That's correct. Real-time settlements, exactly.
Yeah, instead of the usual, the T+3.
Exactly.
About that. All right. It was great having this conversation with you, and definitely we'll keep watching and see how much adoption grows right here in Nigeria, the African continent, and in the global space for tokenization. That was Tunde Ola Olukoyede. He's the country manager at Red Swan.
That's correct.
Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ladi.